You know what? The 3 gates that exist on Earth that humans cannot open, as soon as one of them is opened. The amazing secrets hidden behind it all have the potential to change the world. 1996, southern Peru, near the Sierra de Jarumata, a local guide discovered a very strange structure. It is a huge rock structure carved in the shape of a door, length and width mostly 7 meters, and there's a rectangular cavity carved into the center of it. Narrow and broad at the top, it looks like it could just fit an adult. This building is guarded by the natives, and call it the Stargate. In their ancient language it could also be called the Gate of the Gods. Although it is called a door, but it doesn't look like it's going to get through to the locals to say, what exactly does it do? No one knows. But he can open it by a special means. It comes from one of their folk tales. It is said that the first high priest of the Inca Empire had the power to communicate with the gods. After he placed a golden disc weight in the door, it was sucked in by a blue light. Disappear. While other priests thought it was a divine skill. So the incident was recorded. The incident was then passed on by word of mouth in the area, and it is said that when the Spanish colonists set foot on this land, that's about 500 years ago, there was a priest named Amurumuru. He also possesses a mysterious holy relic. It's exactly the same as the folklore of the Seminole stacked animals. He's afraid of being snatched by the colonialists. And so, according to legend, they fled to the location of the Stargate. At that time the priest, with the help of the shaman, putting Our Lady in a specific place, and then the rock turned into a curtain of blue light, the priest walked in and disappeared. The story has been passed down as well. The natives call this the gateway between man and God. God can come to Earth through here. People can also go to the other world through here. It's also worth mentioning, this Stargate has been around for quite some time. According to local natives, this building has been around since before the birth of civilization in Indian River. It means that if the legend is true, then this door has been used at least as many times as it should have been. And even more intriguing, where exactly does this so-called Stargate lead? Some people say it leads to other mysterious places on Earth. The blacks say it could be a shortcut to an extraterrestrial civilization. But what's the truth? It's impossible to verify today. Later, when some science team went to investigate, it did reveal the existence of a groove for a saucer-shaped object. Somewhat corroborates the credibility of the legend, and besides that, there's no carvings on the Stargate. And there are no words. Consequently, who really built it? And what exactly is it for? It's still an unsolved mystery. In the eyes of some occultists, Egypt's pyramids and sphinxes have long been associated with various conspiracy theories. Although the claims they express are outrageous. But there's no denying it. There must be some secret hidden in these buildings that is still not available to the public. In the 1990s, this Japanese research team used seismometers to detect 2 rectangular cavities 7.6 meters deep in the ground beneath the lion statue. And right under the paw of the lion statue. About what's in this hollow? Unable to find out. In the 1920s, one can clearly see a not-so-small hollow in the top of the Sphinx's head, and if you go back to it now when the top of its head is sealed, the entrance was also blocked on his back at one point. It is said that at the beginning of the 19th century, 2 British Egyptologists have entered these mysterious tunnels. The 2 are said to have discovered a very shocking secret at the end of the tunnel. After much heated debate, the authorities were finally contacted about blocking these passages. As for what they actually saw, no one knows yet. Until 1926. The French Egyptologist Meyer Bolish cited restoration as the reason for, after going into the tunnel to check it out, they completely blocked the tunnels with cement. And later on, after the intervention of a group of American scientists, the Egyptian government has imposed a strict ban on all student-teacher expeditions. Some of you just might want to wonder, why did the Egyptian government just suddenly shut down all the expeditions? There's a lot of speculation today. One of the most knowledgeable claims is that this Sphinx has a strong connection to Freemasonry. And about the hidden in the Sphinx. Secrets also has some pretty bold speculation at the moment. The most logical of these is that this might have something to say about the origins of religion in the West. If it's ever released to the public, there's a good chance that people's beliefs will crumble, forming a religious revolution. This Hindu temple was built in the 16th century, located in the southwestern Indian state of Kerala. It has been rumored in the region that the king who built this temple buried all the wealth he had accumulated over his lifetime in the 6 underground chambers of the temple. People have indeed found countless treasures in them. And in 2011, India's Supreme Court orders excavation of secret chambers A and B, which are still unopened among them. And later, when opening Chamber A, crews have found amazing vegetarian tons of treasure barriers in them. It's more than all the treasures found in the temple before. Rough estimate. Secure housing in Secret Room A is worth more than $20 billion. The discovery became a world sensation. And according to the people involved in the inventory coverage, there are some very old guarantees that simply can't be monetized. And that's actually just a small part of this king. The last unopened chamber, B, hides even more immeasurable security. At least 10 times the layout of Chamber A. Afterwards, July 8, 2011, as the government prepares to order the opening of the last secret chamber, but there was strong opposition from the high priest's chamber in the temple. According to him, a strong curse has been placed on the door of the world. If you open there will be a catastrophe of unprecedented proportions. Only saints chanting specific verses can lift but no one has yet been able to saint. Devotees of the temple also came to your state that day, protesting against the government in front of the temple. What he wrote about his ancestors, people have different opinions. Some say that if the sea connected behind the chamber is opened, will touch the wrath of Poseidon, causing huge floods. Others have rehashed news from the 1930s. They say there was an attempt to open the temple's secret chamber in 1908. But they were scared off by a group of cobras guarding the goose. And in Hindu lore, sacred places are guarded by cobras. That's why some believers think there must be tons of cobras in the chamber. And guards the ultimate mystery of the world. But a local man with a lot of experience catching snakes says, a cobra that could not have survived the lack of oxygen and food in the chamber. And then the government was not convinced, took a stab at it. They all failed. The only last resort is to cut through the door with a cutter. But the idea was quickly rejected, because this kind of roughhousing is a blasphemy against the temple and the gods. And it's only going to attract. The believers are more intensely dissatisfied, so in the end, the government had to call it quits, holding off on low-density turn-ups. Until now, the Indian government has also not made any move to turn on the low-density style, and the origin of those guarantees remains a mystery to this day.